thinking that my sister's argument last first. The person, the medical, mental health person who evaluated my client at the Plymouth County House of Correction had full access to all of the information that my sister's just alluded to the court. In addition, that person also had the report of the doctor who saw him for a half hour or so at Emerson Hospital. We took great pains. When I say we, I mean the Commonwealth and myself took great pains to make sure that all of that information followed Mr. LaCroix to the Plymouth House of Correction. He was evaluated at that point and found not to be a danger, Judge. And this is after spending a weekend on a suicide watch, basically, in that institution. What had changed, I would suggest, Judge, from one evaluation to the other is some time. I don't want to go through the facts, fact by fact, that the district attorney has outlined as to what the basis of the offenses are. I will suffice to say that I think it's suffice to say that there was some interaction between the defendant and his wife and this other person that my client acknowledged right from the beginning, Judge. However, with regard to the need to put him on a bracelet, he is 49 years old, Judge. He's been a police officer for probably the past 27 years in the city of Waltham, rose to the ranks, Judge. He is a respected member of that community. He's a known member of that community. He's a known member of the community in Maynard where he lives, Judge. He is aware of the conditions that we have talked about and asked the court to adopt that as the no contact order. That's the crux of I think, the need that the Commonwealth's expressing with regard to the need for a bracelet. He has no intention of contacting non-wife victim. He has no intention of contacting wife, Judge. I would point out too that I have had contact with Mr. LaCroix's wife. She has contacted me. She has called me. We've been in touch every day. She was in my office as recently as yesterday. And I know she's been in contact with the district attorney's office, Judge. We had a telephone conversation yesterday. Mrs. LaCroix and myself expressed our desire that this request for a GPS not be put in place. Mrs. LaCroix, her state of mind is that she will freely contact probation, the district attorney's office, the Maynard Police Department, the Waltham Police Department, anyone she needs to contact if there's ever any contact or attempted contact made by Thomas LaCroix to her. And I would assume that there'd be no resistance by this other victim to do likewise if Mr. LaCroix ever thought of violating the conditions of this bail by making a contact that he's not supposed to make. Mr. LaCroix's been in custody, Judge, for 8 days. A person in his position never expected to be in that situation. And I can tell you that he never wants to be in that situation again. He understands the serious nature of this, Judge. This is a man who has exhibited over 49 years to be of the highest quality, the person you want to have as a neighbor, as someone in your police department. There was certainly an aberration that took place over this period of time, and I would suggest, Judge, that I'm not trying to minimize the serious nature of the allegations, but I would suggest to you that this is not the type of person who needs to have a GPS bracelet on his ankle to keep him away from potential witnesses and victims, Judge. He is not going to want to jeopardize his liberty. He's not going to want to jeopardize his ability to see his family. He has 2 children, Judge, 2 boys, live in Waltham, who he's extremely close to. He coaches, he sees on a regular basis. He doesn't want to jeopardize that, Judge. He does not need to have this GPS. He will prove to the court that he hasn't been a problem. He's had 8 days to reflect on anything that any poor judgment that might have been used over that brief period of time, Judge. And I would suggest to you that He is not a danger to himself, and he's not a danger to others. We have agreed with these conditions. We've suggested these conditions from the onset of this case, Judge. I'd ask the court to adopt 1 through 12, but I would suggest to you that having him put on a bracelet is needless. It's frankly humiliating for a person in his position to have to do that. He is not the type of person who's going to be able to sneak around and cause any type of a violation of these conditions, Judge. I'd ask you not to make him put on a GPS. He's going to be in a program when he leaves here starting tomorrow. That'll be at least for 2 weeks, and he's going to be in the follow-up outpatient care of the gentleman who's represented in that motion, Your Honor, or anybody else that the program thinks would be of help to him. He needs to get back on the road to get his life back in order and to deal with these charges, so I'd ask the court not to adopt number 13. And if the court were to think that some bracelet it would be required, that he not be restricted, as the Commonwealth has suggested, that there may be some exclusion zones, but he does need to go about his life, Judge, and go about getting it back together again. Thank you, Your Honor.
Your Honor, may I say 2 things? One is just for the court's awareness. I have confirmed, and I believe defense counsel has also confirmed with the program, that there is a bed available, which is why we put that in there. The second thing, Your Honor, and this is, I've indicated this to defense counsel and I've indicated this to the victim, that while it is represented by defense counsel and by the victim that she will call the police if the defendant chooses to contact her or show up at her house, I believe that this case has demonstrated that the victim is afraid to go to the police to report what this defendant has done to her. I'm aware that the court has the police reports and everything surrounding this and is aware of those circumstances. And I would suggest, and this is what I indicated to both parties when they mentioned that to me yesterday, is that the Commonwealth has some severe reservations if the victim would, in fact, notify the police if the defendant violated the terms and conditions, which is another reason why the Commonwealth indicated to the victim yesterday that we would be looking for the bracelet.
Talk with the probation department and all these
Yes. I have notified probation of the conditions, and I talked to probation earlier today about the bracelet.
We have, Jack, if you want, okay. We have availability of bracelet.
I will allow the trial release to have an outline of paragraphs 1 through 12, which is exactly one paragraph. 13, excuse me. I agree with the Commonwealth paragraph requirement for GPS for the reasons stated by the Commonwealth, especially the point of proceeding. So I'm going to allow paragraph 1 to 12 and also paragraph 13 that Mr. LaCroix does wear a GPS bracelet.
Your Honor, we're asking for August 3rd for pretrial conference.
I'm sorry?
August 3rd?
Yes, Your Honor.
After hearing, court releases the defendant on conditions set forth under General Law, Chapter 276, Section 58A. Court allows agreed conditions 1 through 12 be imposed and also imposes condition number 13 at the request of the Commonwealth. This matter stands continued until August 3rd, 2012, pre-trial hearing at 8:30 in the morning.